And we're live. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining us tonight. We are welcomed. I want to welcome guest Dave and Sarah Gillman from Gillmoney. You can find them at Gillmoney.com or the YouTube channel Gillmoney, or their Facebook group Gillmoney. Correct? All of it's Gillmoney.
Yep.
Yes.
Awesome.
Well, the YouTube channel is under Gill Daddy, but yeah.
Okay. So I'll just have you take a few minutes of your time first to introduce yourselves and stuff, because there are some people in here, I don't know if they don't know who you guys are. But and we're live. What's going on, everybody? Yeah, I got some feedback. Amateur move. All right. All right, now you can introduce yourself. I'm sorry about that.
Well, I'm Gill Daddy. This is Gill Mama. We've been selling full-time on eBay for a little over 2 years. Just started doing Amazon FBA at the beginning of this year. We make, of course, YouTube videos just showing kind of what we get and try to help others, you know, to go out and make money as well. And the YouTube channel is Gill Daddy, like he was saying. We have a Facebook group. It's under Gillmoney, and you guys can go in there and join. It's a pretty big community, and we're not strict or nothing on there. We're just trying to help people. And then our website, Gillmoney.com, is just kind of a way to organize all the videos and maybe some other information on, you know, other supplies and things you might need.
From the other side.
All right. Of course, I'm the Thrifting Lounge, and I have my own YouTube channel, Thrifting Lounge, and my own Facebook group, Thrifting Lounge. And I want to start off just by asking you, I know everybody wants to know, how did you guys start, and how did you come about just doing this? I don't know if it was you guys started at garage sales or something like that.
We've actually been doing it off and on since about 2000 when he was in the military, and we would just do it for extra money, play money when he was in, and then it was off and on until we moved back home, and then now he was working for, here, I'll just let you do it. I'm blobbering.
Well, yeah, we started in 2000, off and on, selling on eBay. Throughout the military, I was selling stuff. I was selling, at one point I was selling airsoft stuff. I was selling knives. I was selling all kinds of stuff, just as extra money. And then I just decided to go to work, just like everybody else, and eventually I ended up buying my own tool company. And I did that for about 2.5 years, but the economy went really far down and I couldn't do it anymore. I decided just to close my doors and give it all up. But we started selling a whole bunch of different stuff on eBay and just getting more and more into it. And eventually we started just going to thrift stores. And I had actually I wasn't working. I was just doing eBay full-time. And we both went full-time a little over 2 years ago. I was doing it full-time for about 6 months before that. But we just started, you know, doing it more and more and learning what stuff sells for, you know, being able to just spot it in a thrift store and things like that.
Now, what do you guys specialize in? I know you guys do parts, you know, vacuum parts, actually anything that has to do with parts, remotes, electronics. You guys are like the electronics kings and queens of finding that stuff and just making really good money off of it.
Yeah, we sell pretty much anything we can ship.
If it can make money for us, then we sell it.
We have tried clothing in the past. I know a lot of people do clothing. I didn't really like doing it, and we did it for about a month, and I didn't like it. And plus, there was so much stuff around us to keep us busy that the clothing, we really didn't need it. We could just spend the time we were sourcing clothing and getting more into the junk, basically, you know. But yeah, electronics. I love them. You know, we sell the crap out of those. We like kitchen stuff. I mean, I've sold a penis pump before. So, I mean, yeah, just odd things, really.
We've sold a boob.
Yeah, I sold a mastectomy boob.
Now, did you get to use the pump before you sent it out?
No. It wasn't a sexual pump. It was
a medical pump.
It was a medical prescribed, not even prescribed, but it's used for like older gentlemen with problems.
They need the little blue pill.
So, I mean, everybody knows about Gillmoney and what you guys do. I mean, when did you decide you want to do the YouTube stuff? Because, I mean, when I first started, I was watching the eBay video straight from eBay, and on the side screen, on their YouTube channel, on your side screen, I saw you guys, and it was like, 30, 40,000 views on it, and I clicked on it, and I watched like quite a few of you guys' videos. So I mean, I'm sure the audience wants to know how you decided to start the YouTube channel, because I know back then there really wasn't much people doing exactly what you're doing on YouTube.
We got bored. It was something to do, really, and we liked doing what we do, and we wanted to help other people do it too. So
yeah, I showed my mom how to do it, and she started making money on eBay, going out and getting the same stuff that she's seen me get, and would call me, ask me questions. And I see a lot of people out there that are like struggling, or I have friends that they don't have 20 bucks to put in their gas tank, and I'm going, man, if they only knew that knowledge, that they could make that 20 bucks, in an hour on eBay. I mean, it's so easy to do. So one day I'm just driving, we're going to the outlet, and I'm like, I'm just going to start filming and see what happens, and maybe throw it up on YouTube and see what reaction we get, So we just started doing that. We grew
really, really fast. I mean, we've only been doing videos for what?
A year.
A little over a year now?
Yeah.
So.
Now, I had a few questions from somebody previously that wrote to me and wanted to ask you questions. His name's Matt Miner, and in a few weeks he will actually be moving down the next town up from me, and we'll be picking buddies basically. So I thought that was pretty cool. But he wanted to know, we already touched how did you get into thrifting. Now let's talk about, as someone getting ready to go full time, because this is a pretty good question. As somebody getting ready to go full time, how do they balance picking and family life?
It kind of depends on the age of your children, really, and what your spouse does for a living. It's going to be based on what your family does, because when I was working and he was doing eBay, it was pretty easy because he would just go out while I was at work or when I was sleeping, because I worked graveyards, but it just worked out pretty easy for us. But really, it just depends on your family life. You just do what works for you.
Yeah. Because I know I have a girlfriend that works still, and I do this full time, and I mean, it's fun. I mean, she loves that I can go out and turn like $100 into close to almost $1,000 or $800 with clothes. It does take time. It's not going to sell right away, but in time, I mean, you're going to make good money, especially when you start knowing, and the knowledge that you guys know. I know you know a lot. What kind of niches do you guys have besides electronics? Because I know you guys like doing parts and stuff. What do you usually look for when you go right into a store?
Anything in the kitchen stuff. We go through the bathroom area. I glance over coffee mugs occasionally if I get bored, and anything that looks interesting, we look up and see if it has any value.
Yeah, we don't usually check the knickknacks and things like that. I know there is money there, and some people like to sell that stuff. But what I've noticed is a lot of people, it's a guess. I mean, I'm sure they get better as time goes on, but like if you see a dolphin statue with no markings on it, it's really hard. I mean, you can spend 30 minutes sitting there trying to research this dolphin statue, trying to see how much it's worth, and a lot of times they just take a risk on it and throw it up on eBay and see what happens. I like to see exactly how much money I'm going to make on an item, and that way it minimizes the risk. So we don't mess with that stuff too often. Like she said, we go to the kitchen place, aisles. We go to, we scan some media a lot of times for Amazon, now that we're doing Amazon. We walk around the electronics, and of course, like the areas where they got all the junk. They got tire inflation things and tools, and I like walking through those aisles too.
And I know you guys know a lot about remotes, and I want to touch on this because not everybody watches some of the hangouts that we do, and I think it was last week on Wednesday you gave an awesome tutorial on the remotes to look for. Could you give us some insight on that?
Yeah.
Really don't go so much for older TV remotes or VCR remotes. We do a lot of Sony and any of the higher end units, the Denon, the Onkyo, stuff like that, JBL, anything that is a higher end model, and anything that looks cool, really.
Yeah, if it looks cool and has lots of buttons, a lot of times that's a good indicator, but if it says something about VCR, like she said, unless it says DVD and VCR, because those are usually like a DVD VCR combo, and you can get 20, 25 bucks a remote out of those. But anything newer for flat screen TVs, any Blu-ray, all the newer remotes, they all sell really well, you know.
And I'm sure you know where I'm going with this. You were also let us know. You actually helped me because for now I'm going to do this with my camera on my phone about figuring out what's I think it was the infrared. There's supposed to be like a green light that hits the camera on your phone.
It'll actually look purple. But yeah, if you, like for us, we have iPhones. If you put it on the front face camera and you flash your remote in there, you'll be able to see a purple light. You just got to make sure you have good batteries in there, because
a lot of people are confused when we try to tell them. All we're saying is pull up your camera like you're about to take a picture and you're looking at your screen to take a picture, and then put the remote in lens and push the button, just like you're getting ready to take a picture of the sensor while you're pressing the buttons.
All right, and none other than the Golden Finger Picker has a question for you guys. If you could give me one tip to the brand new reseller, what would it be?
Don't give up.
Just do it, I guess. Yeah, I think a lot of people overthink it. They think, well, let's see, I don't know how to do it. I don't know what to do. And it's just, people don't like to learn new things. That's the biggest problem with most people. They like the idea of it. But I've tried to teach other people that around me, friends, and they know there's money. They see us making money. We actually took them out picking and pointed out a few items.
We bought their stuff for them. All they had to do was list it.
Yeah, I bought some things for them and said, go list these. Get your feet wet. And they listed a couple things at first, and then they just stopped. And I don't know what the fear is. I mean, I think that people think they got to have a whole bunch of supplies, but you really don't. You can go out and get a $10 scale and go grab some boxes, or even order free boxes on USPS and just get started. Or just wait until you sell an item, then go find a box for it, because that's what most new people do. You don't know what boxes you're going to need. Just throw some items on there, and once it sells, you're going to have to go find a box, and then you'll get good at it.
Don't be scared. Just do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I told you about the story about how I have a good friend, and I've helped him along with clothing and stuff like that, and some other items to look for, and he's just like, dude, I got to make this work. I got to make this work, but I find that he doesn't take the time and effort that I did when I started. I'm sure you guys did too. I mean, I was out there. I had a pen and paper. I'd write down some of the brands people were talking about. I was writing down the stuff to look for in items. Man, I mean, I was just feeding myself with knowledge. What would be one great tip for somebody to try to retain the knowledge? Would you, like with me, I'd have the kid come with me and physically show him, have him look at the brands, tell him why this isn't good and why it is good. What would your tip be?
For one, I'd say treat it like a business, not like a hobby, and two, just repetitiveness. As you do it, the more times you see this one thing, eventually you're going to be like, oh, that's an easy $20. You just keep going with it, and once you see something that you've seen before,
yeah,
you're like,
and the videos, I mean the YouTube videos. When I started going to pick like different stuff, I didn't watch a lot of videos, but I did see a couple, and I think that's what got me started. Is I just went out, and all I was looking for was the few items that I'd seen in those couple videos. So when I did find those items, I was like, wow. And it seemed like the more we went out, then I just started going, I've never looked that up before. Let me just check eBay. I mean, you have the tools right there in front of you. You can't lose if you check the values on eBay and see what people are paying. But you just, you go out there, you watch the videos, because when we do our haul videos, we show each item. We may not say this, what model it is or whatever, but if I grab an item and I say, hey, look, here's a factory CD player that goes in a car, and I should be able to get $80 out of it, that person that's watched the video is going to be able to go out, and when they see a factory radio, they're going to grab it and look up the part number. And that's all it's about, is not knowing the value of everything, but knowing what to grab to look up.
Okay, I think this might be a good question. I know a lot of people ask what your schedule would be, but my question here, it might be a little different, because I think everybody's heard, some sort of schedule you guys have. What would your schedule be when you first started compared to what your schedule is now? And I mean, I'm sure it's a lot better than when you first started out doing all this stuff.
When we first started, we were really bad about shopping and not listing, because that's the fun part of this business is you go out and you shop, and then the next day you're like, oh, I don't want to list. I want to go shop some more.
Yeah.
So then you go out and you shop some more, and then you get 5,000 pounds of crap sitting in your living room and your hallway and your kitchen, and you have nowhere to work. Difference now is we actually have a schedule. We get up, we go picking, we come home, we ship, we list, then we do it again.
It's easy to get the bone in the mouth syndrome, to where you got something, you need to list it, but instead you drop it off, drop the bone out of your mouth and go for a further bone, and you're never making any progress because you're not listing the stuff. So when we go out, if we're out, I mean, some days we may just say, hey, you know what, I think we should just stay out all day and pick, and then maybe just spend all day tomorrow listing. But usually we balance it out. We'll go out for 3-4 hours, then go home, ship, list. And that's what you need to do. You can't stay out all day every day. And if you did do it that way, you'd make a lot of money, but you'd have to stay up all night listing. So it just depends on how much you want to work.
And I find that like my schedule's like I'll list all during the week when my girlfriend's at work, so it's like 8 in the morning until about 6 o'clock at night, 6:30 at night. I try to get all of that stuff, my business stuff, done that way. And that nighttime, most of the times, but it's kind of changed ever since I started doing these hangouts and stuff. When she gets home, we just relax and we'll watch the TV and we'll hang out or figure out what we did that day or figure out if we want to go do something. On the weekends, it's just family time, and if we want to go to thrift shops or stores, I mean, that's basically our time together to do stuff is on the weekends. Is that kind of like similarly how you guys do that, or do you guys just do the thrifting? I mean, sorry, the sourcing every day, and then the list. I mean, your weekly schedule, is it every single day of the week?
We do not work on the weekends ever.
Well, no, I wouldn't say ever, but
very rarely.
It just depends. What's nice about doing this for full time is that you can adjust your schedule however you want. So if something special is going on Tuesday, you can take that day off and just say, hey, you know what, Saturday we'll just work in the afternoon sometime. So I mean, you can move your days around, but we try not to work on the weekends. We did go out to, there was a book sale this week, so we went out.
It sucked ass.
It sucked ass, but all they had was fiction, and there was only a few nonfiction. But we did get 3 bags full of stuff, so $3. And they were mostly VHS tapes for Amazon. But since we were already out and we were just kind of, the book sale didn't work out, we just went to a few yard sales in the area, and we ended up doing really, really good. I mean, we found a lot of good stuff, and we were only out for another, 2 hours or something. And
we didn't list any of it during the weekend.
No, we didn't list any of it yet. So.
I find if I do too much eBay or whatever, or even looking for stuff, I sometimes have time to burn myself out quickly. And it's like sometimes I just need time to back away from it. And ever since I started doing, weekends or whatever she wants to do, we do. That's kind of helped me out from not keeping myself from burning out, Yeah,
it's a good feeling though when you list. It's just it's always, to me, it's just the greatest feeling ever, because you list a whole bunch of stuff and then you just kind of you can just relax. You're like, oh, now I can just watch the money come in, because that's always what happens after you list,
No, that's actually a good thing we're talking about listing now, because Sam has a great question. He wants to know how many items you list per day or a week on eBay and Amazon individually, probably eBay first, then Amazon. And how many items do you have for sale in your stores? I know the other day you guys listed, 100 items, which is just...
Yeah, we listed 55 the other day. On an average day, we try to list at least 25 items. And I'd say on average, we probably have 300 to 400 items in our store.
Yeah, 300 to 400 items usually. I don't think we've ever been over 500 items.
Never.
And just the type of items we sell, they sell pretty quick. I mean, I just did a video on a $25 challenge, and we shot the video. We went out picking and grabbed more stuff, but I only got 3 items for $25, and I think total price I'm going to get like $300 or $320 or something like that. But we listed them 2 days after that, and it was just like the same day that I did the video, and 2 of those items already sold. They sold in like 24 hours. They sold, and those are two $70 items. So those two
We
items
sold them before the video was ever up.
Yeah, because when the editing, I put it in there. So I mean, a lot of the items are really fast-moving items.
Now we have another good question. Do you feel like sharing your niche items on eBay has affected your sales? Because I think you guys are in like a niche really or you're into electronics and breaking down parts and selling them too a lot of times. So I think you're in an area where basically nobody's even ever touched. I think that's really good, and it's great to learn from somebody like you guys. I think that's why you guys have like a huge following too. That always helps, you know.
We saw a few things drop when we started talking about the guitars for Rock Band and stuff. Sales dropped a little bit, but it took a long time. I think it took probably 4, 5, 6 months before we saw a drop.
Right, and we just send those into Amazon now anyways, so you know, one item doesn't make or break me. For instance, like remotes. Everybody gets excited about remotes, but I mean, if we have a good month selling remotes, it's like $1,000 or maybe 1,100. But you know, that's just very small. I mean, that's just a small fraction, and there's so much more stuff out there. And I talk about it in my videos before because I have people asking that same question. And what I've seen is that if I say, hey, go get some Sony Walkmans, you know, they sell. You can get $15 to $200 for some really rare ones. You know, I don't see that exact same model number all the time. I might see that an exact same model number maybe 3 times a year. So I don't really think there's really going to be a lot of competition there. Now, if I told you that there was, you know, this one thing out there that is everywhere, okay, and that it sells for $50, $60, then yeah, that would definitely affect me because everybody would be selling it. And then everybody would be dropping their prices, and eventually that $50 item is now selling for $8.
Yeah, I find that a lot of times too. I'll think I'm like buying like a gold like $100 item. I'll even tell my girlfriend, like, dude, this is like $100. I'll get home and I look and it's like $25, and I'm like, some idiot way undersold it. But you know what? I still try to get like somewhere in the middle, maybe like $75. And most of the time I will get it, you know, because I believe presentation in your listing and stuff really helps sell an item. So what do you guys think about that? Presentation in your listing, and do you guys offer like global shipping and stuff like that?
We do globally ship. We do not do the global shipping program. We do not believe in it, and I don't. We make money on international shipping, so we choose not to.
Yeah, we make too much money on the international shipping, and I think the global shipping program is for those people that are always just really nervous about sending items overseas. But I think if you do it for a while, then you'll find that every now and then you might get one that goes missing, maybe. But we don't get that many that go missing, and we make money every time we ship something because of our discount. So we'll ship an item out that the buyer paid $50 for, and it only costs us $25. So all that money you're making will make up for that once in a great while item that comes up disappeared or whatever. And it's no harder or easier really than using the global shipping program.
And as far as presentation goes, I highly suggest learning how to take a decent picture if you're going to sell on eBay. Horrible pictures mean horrible sales.
Yeah, the pictures is a huge deal. You know, you want lots of pictures. That's just with marketing. I mean, you can have an item that just one picture will show the buyer exactly what it is. But it's not just about how many pictures you have, but what it is that you want the buyer to interact with your images. Because when a buyer starts to interact, clicking different images and looking through it, they're like 90% more like to buy that item, because it's just like somebody reaching out at the store and grabbing it. So if you just take a picture of the front and then maybe lay it on its side, or you know, turn it a little bit and a different angle, or farther away, closer, or whatever, that will dramatically help that listing's chances of selling.
Now, I mean, do you guys have like the basic lighting gear? Do you guys have like a DSLR and stuff like that?
No, we use the iPhones. You know, we found some really nice cameras in the past.
And they just take crap pictures.
Well, with just all these settings, and they probably do really well, but I mean, they had all these stupid settings in there, and it seemed like every time I would take a picture with this real expensive camera, I would take a picture with the iPhone, and it would look way better. Yeah. And she got the newest iPhone, and really the biggest reason was because the camera, and they were saying that, you know, like the iPhone cameras, and there's other phones out there too, but they're saying they're taking better pictures than these super expensive cameras. So if you just get yourself a nice smartphone with a really nice camera, you can take some awesome pictures.
And have a picture box. Picture boxes are wonderful.
Yeah, get a nice picture box, because if you don't, you're going to be spending way too much time in Photoshop trying to clean them up, or just throwing up shit pictures.
Don't let him trick you when he says nice picture box. Our picture box is a water heater box with some bathroom laminate going in it.
Right, yeah, I don't mean that. I just mean a picture box that's going to work, that's going to make your pictures look nice. Yeah, we have an old water heater box. I just cut out the side, and I found some of this white bathroom wall laminate stuff, but it just bends, so it goes straight up the back. And you can just cut it with scissors. It's like this PVC material or something. But we use that, and we use a long, what is it, a long light?
Just like a garage light.
Long,
I don't know what they're called.
I don't know, like they're halogen light or something, you know, the long lights with the bulbs. I forget. Yeah, it's a light. It's got a bulb, man.
I do the same exact thing with that you guys were talking about. I have the DSLR because I'm pretty skilled with the camera. That's my background, and I know a lot about the light, and so I can go into a situation and just give myself enough light where I can go into the Photoshop, cut the background out, fix the light in, you know, color correct everything. But it is just so damn time consuming. You know, I'll probably go through a listing, you know, just taking photos, and then editing is probably like 20 minutes each listing by editing and taking the photo. You think so?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. She thinks it's longer than that. I've never really timed myself. Maybe I'll try time myself, because in the next couple weeks here, I'm going to actually get some nice like mono lights, studio light, and so I can, because I do a lot of clothing, so the best way I can just get the background out quick as possible, just, you know, snap and go. For me, it will help me in time consuming, because I know you guys can also probably vouch too. Don't spend so much time taking the pictures and editing them, because it kills, you remember how you told me how, like, you want to be paid each hour you invest into an item, or how long you can invest into an item. Don't go into an item where you think you're going to take too much time into the item. Can you go over that with you know, everybody else for me, since I don't know if I'm botching it or not even saying it right.
No, that's pretty much what I always did, and I do notice it with a lot of newbies. So I always tell, like, the new people to do that. I see them grabbing these items that they're going to sell for $10, and yeah, the remotes. Some remotes I sell for $10, but if we have a video showing you how we do the remotes, and I tell you what, I can list a remote in no time. I mean, and that's why it's worth that $8, and sometimes it's $70, but it's worth that amount of time to just quickly wipe it off, test it real quick. She takes a picture, gives it to me. I open up a template that I've already have made, because I've sold a remote before. I keep the same description. I keep everything the same except, of course, the title and the pictures. The shipping stays the same, and then I put my price in and I hit list. So I can list a remote in like a couple minutes. But I see a lot of people, and I made the same mistake. I couldn't say no to money, and that's what it is. You see something and you go on, man, I can get $15 for these curlers, or maybe even $20, but there's hair and hairspray and crusty stuff all over it, and you're cleaning it, and then you realize you're spending 30 minutes cleaning this item. And to some people that might not be that bad. Spend 30 minutes to clean some curlers, and after fees you make $15. Not bad. But if you skip over that item and keep going, because you'll keep finding more items, find something that you can just wipe off, you know, and list, and then you'll make way more money than wasting 30 minutes an item cleaning it, unless it's a very valuable item. I mean, if it's a receiver that I can get $500 for and there's a bulb burnt out in it, I'll order the damn bulb. I'll rip that thing apart, you know, and I'll spend a good 45 minutes to an hour changing a bulb in a receiver. So what's your time worth? And that's really what it comes down to.
All right, I want to do probably, I'll bunch it up into one question before we start talking about some Amazon. What is your best find from, like, selling for eBay? It's just like your best find, but also what is your most sold item? Like, how much did it sell for? So it could be two different items. I don't know, do you understand what I'm trying to say? I don't know if I said it right.
We've had a couple. We found a knitting machine at the Weigh and Pay once, and I think we paid probably 10, 15 bucks, maybe 20 at the most for it, and we sold it for like $700, I think.
750.
750. There you go. And then after that, we started watching for them. We searched Craigslist for them. We found them pretty often after that, and sold quite a few of them. What was the other question? I'm sorry.
And what would be your highest sold item ever?
Highest sold.
iPhones.
Well, yeah, I used to sell a lot of phones, and I would source them through Craigslist. And I found a guy that was selling brand new BlackBerries, brand new iPhones all the time. And I ended up hooking up with him, and every time I needed more phones, I would call him. I didn't know where he was getting them. They weren't stolen, but I didn't know where he was getting them. And he always told me these aren't stolen, and you can activate them no problem. And he was right. No problem. Never had a problem with them. I did find out later that the guy was basically making corporations, and then he would close the corporation down because he's no liability there, and he would get these cell phone plans with these carriers and tell him he has 50 employees. So he would get them all for the new contract price and sell them to me, and he would make great money. But at one time, I believe I sold some for, it was right around $4,000 in one sale. But the guy disappeared, so I'm not selling those anymore.
What percentages of your business? Because I don't think you sell like you don't do scanning and for Amazon, do you?
Do.
It's like, you know how some people scan stuff like retail arbitrage, scan an item and try to figure out what it is, what goes for on eBay. You do that. Okay, because I've never done Amazon, so I mean, so what would your advice be for me? Because I'm really thinking about it, because I have some Guitar Hero sets, wireless drums for the Guitar Hero that I want to send in, and everybody's telling me, you know, it'll go quicker and it might go for a little bit more money right now on Amazon. And actually, a couple people just told me that they just sold them almost right away as they put them on there. So I'm like, you know what? I really do want to try this FBA stuff.
Yeah, we do a lot of scanning, and that was mainly just because once I realized how easy FBA was, it was like I wasn't trading in my eBay time for Amazon. And that's what a lot of people think. They don't want to get into it because they don't know it. And they keep making excuses on why they shouldn't do it, because they're going, well, I can just, you know, why would I take the time I'm spending on my eBay and do Amazon? Well, the difference is you're already in these thrift stores. So you stopping at a media shelf and scanning some PC games, or maybe some DVDs, or maybe books if you want to do books. I mean, there's a lot of things you can scan. But you're already there, so if you spend an extra 10, 15 minutes in that thrift store, it's not going to cut into your day that much. And you just keep putting that stuff in a pile, and then you just pick one day in the week to where you can sit down for 4 or 5 hours, and you list all of this stuff. And I'm telling you, you can in 3 or 4 hours, I mean, you can get 200-300 items, depending on what they are, sometimes more, all in a box and sent out to FBA, and you never have to touch it again. So you're only really spending an extra 3 or 4 hours with a whole nother business running for you. You don't got to ship the items anymore. You don't got to touch them, look at them, store them, nothing. But like drums, I've never done any drums just because they're a pain in the butt. It's hard to find a box for. Unless you have them in the box, a lot easier. You stick a label on it.
I saw a lot of the Rock Band and Guitar Hero stuff on eBay. And I sometimes, especially if it's just a guitar I'm selling, I end up having to make these damn freaking custom boxes. You know, I'll take 2 boxes, put them together, you know, wrap them up and send them off. And it's just that, and like you said, it's time consuming too. So, but at least, I mean, I do make about $30 profit off it. I'll get like the thing for next to nothing, the wireless guitar, and sell it for about $40, $45. And but now, do I have? Are you allowed to do it used, or do I have to at least have a barcode where I need to scan it or something?
It depends on what the item is. But with the Guitar Hero guitars and stuff, now you just put the model in and sell it under that. It doesn't have to have a barcode. But
they'll already have the barcode listed under the listing. You just click sell yours. The scanning is just for you to scan, so you can go in and go beep 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 beep. You know, just scan. Retail arbitrage, I really don't. I've done it, and I've made money on it. But I do notice that it's very easy to go out and fill your FBA with a bunch of new items, and you can do pretty well, but it does take a lot of money. So if you're a new person, don't do it, because you can easily spend $1,000 in just sending all the stuff to FBA. It's a lot easier to do the used stuff and send all that stuff in, because you can get it for so much cheaper. And you're not competing against every other retail arbitrage person that's buying the same clearance items as you, just at a different store in a different place.
See, my problem with the clearance items at like TJ Maxx, stuff like that, I guess this like happens like 2 times a year where everything's like on the clearance rack, like double clearance or something like that. But I can never hit it up at the right time. I have no clue how to find out. I don't know if I've even had the email sent to my email list, so I don't know if you just got to go in there and it's luck or something like that. I've heard it's like happens one time at the start of the year and like close to the end of the year. Did you guys ever figure that? How did you guys figure that out, or did you ever even figure that out?
No, we never did. I mean, we would just go to different stores and check their clearance. You know, if we heard about a good place to go, like I know Target's really good. Some areas have Shopko's; they're really good. There's a lot of places out there. Kohl's, yeah, you can go to Kohl's. I even got a bunch of stuff at Walmart once, and I sold like everything within a week of it hitting FBA. And I mean, I was successful at it, but at the same time, I did drop like, I forget, $200 on, you know, one item. So it eats a lot of your money, and I made like, I think it was like $8 a piece or $7 a piece. So in the end, I could have made that much money, you know, just go pick it in a thrift store and put it on eBay. You know, I mean, just a couple items would have made that much money to me. But it was there. I couldn't, you know, I was trying it out. I was trying the retail arbitrage.
Okay. I mean, what would be a couple tips for me? Because I'm really, this is me personally asking you guys now. What's the difference for me between eBay? Because I'm one of those people who are like, I tend to like to stick with one thing before I jump into another. And if I have to do Amazon, I just got to do all that research. And I'm like, I've already done all this research and stuff for eBay. I mean, what's a couple tips you can actually give me that would, you know, help me a lot?
Really, best thing I would say is just to get Profit Bandit on your phone, you know, your whatever device you use, and just go start scanning stuff. You know, because that's what really is what's going to get you. First of all, is buying it, because that's what I did. I didn't know how to list stuff on Amazon, but I was intrigued by it, and I got Profit Bandit because it was cheap. Put it on there, and you don't need a scanner at first. You can just take your phone and start scanning items. You know, just start scanning some PC games. Start scanning different things maybe that you see in thrift stores. If it's a new item in a store, you can just scan it. And you don't have to scan. I mean, you can look items up too. You know, if you see something at a thrift store and you're wondering how much it goes for on Amazon, you can type it into Profit Bandit just like Amazon. And Profit Bandit is going to tell you, they're going to take out the cost it costs you to ship the FBA, which is super cheap. They're going to take out the Amazon fees. They're going to take out the first month of your storage fee. And they're going to take out all your fees, and then you can actually just put in the price that you're going to pay for it, $3, whatever. And then it's going to tell you your profit. So once you start doing that, you're going to buy these items because you're going to go, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And whether it takes you a week or a month, you're going to have a nice pile of stuff to send in. And then once you start listing these items, I mean, I would say less than a week, you're going to be going, okay, I know what I'm doing now. And you'll be able to just keep sending them in. Just learn as you go, because that's what I did. I didn't know everything. I just learned as I went.
Now, how much is your business eBay, and how much is your business Amazon?
That's hard right now.
Right now, I'm going to stick with still mostly eBay. But
I would say
we're working on transferring over to more Amazon.
It's almost half and half, I would say. Almost half and half. But yeah, I mean, but we have like 3 Amazon accounts now. We have 2 Amazon accounts for different products that we got into, or different new products. And then I have another Amazon account that I use for our used stuff, and then we just have our eBay account.
Now, what do you sell on Amazon?
We have a couple private labeled items that we had manufactured specifically for us, and then on our used account we do all the normal stuff: books, media, games, and I mean we've sold some food. We've done so many things on there, and pretty much anything we'll sell on eBay, we'll sell on Amazon if they allow it.
If they allow it, right? They let you list it.
Electronics, we do a lot of. We've done remotes.
Just started listing merchant fulfilled items on Amazon, and mainly it was because of the electronics. I was looking on Amazon, and you will lose money on the shipping because they have like a flat rate, but you price it really high. But some of the items that would go for like 40 on eBay, like the electronics we sell, are going for like 180 on Amazon, and they have a really low rank. So that means it sells pretty often. So I just threw some items up on there, and I'm trying that out as well. She said our private label stuff. When I first wanted to get into private labeling something, my first item was a supplement. It's very common for a lot of people to jump into that business, and I just fell right in because I was new, and I'm like, well, I can do that. And they have USA manufacturers that can, you can make your brand, your logo, put your name on it, whatever you want. And I put that up there, and it's taken me 6 months to actually get them to where they're actually selling now. And if I was to do it again, I wouldn't even do it because there's so much competition in that market. I mean, you got these guys that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, and they'll spend whatever they need to spend to kick you out. So I wouldn't recommend that. Our other item, I'm not saying what it is, of course, because I don't need everybody out there copying me. But I did source a product from China, and we've had it live for
3 weeks.
Almost, I think tomorrow will be 3 weeks. I think we're right around 3 weeks live on Amazon. That means they act once they got it in their warehouse. And we were a little more educated when we did this. And I mean, there's just so much stuff to know. But long story short, we got it up there, and we're doing really, really well. Our rank is really good. We're selling, I don't know, I mean, we're selling between $100 and $200 a day profit after all fees and our cost of our product profit.
And we're on page 1, I think, for all except for 4 of our keywords, and on one of them we should be page 1 by tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're talking like 20, 30 keywords that we're working on.
And $100 and $200 a day doesn't sound like a lot, but you got to also think it's people might be going, well, I make that more than that at my job. Yeah, but you don't work your job 7 days a week,
And you don't sit on your couch at home doing this.
And it's still growing. So I mean, that product, if it just stopped right there, I would be totally satisfied with that because I'm already looking into more products to expand my line. So if each product would bring $100, $200 a day, I mean, you can just imagine how much money you can make doing it.
Now, where do you see yourself in the future, say like 5 years down the road, between Amazon, eBay, or even if there's a different channel out there? Because I know they have that 11 main that just got, I think they dropped today or yesterday, where you can start selling on there. And I already know a few people that's already hit that up a few times, but they're super like hardcore about pictures and has to be new, has to be certain things new. So where do you guys see yourself in the future with Amazon and eBay?
We hope to be 100% Amazon private labeling.
Yeah, I think that's, I mean, we'll probably still do eBay, but I mean, we're going to be doing it more for fun, and we'll see what happens to our eBay business then. But
we'll keep making videos either way.
Amazon's just more reliable, I think. They have a lot more traffic than eBay. I mean, that's the biggest thing. They're #1 in the Google search results. I mean, for like any product you type in. So I mean, you're getting maximum exposure. If you know how to use it, it's not that hard. They have a lot of restrictions, but it's just like eBay. You got to know their restrictions.
And actually, it was a question: how do you know these keywords? And they look at keyword and stuff like that.
A lot of research.
Yeah, I kind of figured I do the same thing.
To get your keywords. And
for new products, yeah. Used products is just like eBay, except easier. I mean, because most of that stuff you don't have to take your pictures. You just go in there. I want to sell one of these. Oh, okay. Well, tell me more about it. What's the condition? Good. Okay. And you put a little description in there. has some normal scuffs and scratches, one little dent on the side or whatever item it is, usually it's a sentence or two you pop in there, and then you just go next, 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 and it goes into your shipment. And that's basically how quick and easy it is to list each individual item that way. When you're talking about new products, then you're creating your whole listing from scratch. We paid somebody to do our pictures for us, a professional picture person, and she went through and made them all optimized for Amazon. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff when you're doing new products that you have to do, a lot of research, and it's a lot of playing with stuff, playing with titles, playing with bullet points, all that stuff. It's a lot, but once you learn it, you can just rinse and repeat and do it with another item.
Yeah, it's kind of like doing a listing on eBay or something. You just the more you do it, the quicker it comes to you. You know. Now, what kind of item seems to? Because I want to kind of join Amazon and eBay in this. What kind of item seems to go quick for you on eBay, and kind of slow on Amazon, and vice versa? What goes quick on Amazon and slow for you on eBay?
Board games, books, CDs, DVDs, computer games all go relatively quick on Amazon. Well, depending on the rank.
It depends. It's hard to put it on one product, but what goes slow on? Well, I can tell you one thing. Routers and modems, you see them all over the place. You used to be able to.
Oh no.
They just don't sell for that much. And one day I just happened to look it up on Amazon, and I seen that the rank, man, they're selling like 20.
Hey, Dave.
Super quick on Amazon. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. You might want to restart that explanation because, like, when you first started, you froze and froze again. Can you hear me?
Okay, where do I need to start from?
I can hear you. I got you to the part what sold. She said board games, stuff like that, sell quick on Amazon, some of them. And then when you went in, it just froze, and then you came back a little bit, it froze again.
What I was saying was routers and modems. We used to sell a lot of those on eBay because they would move fast and they went for a decent amount of money. But the prices have gone down a lot on eBay. People aren't buying them that much on there. But I did look on Amazon, and I seen that some of these routers and modems that won't sell for $5 on eBay were selling on Amazon and selling quick. So I sent some of them in to Amazon, FBA, and they were selling like a couple days. I mean, they were just gone for a lot more money, for like $30, $40, when I couldn't get rid of them for $5 on eBay.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of items like that, a lot of items.
Now, do you find that sometimes it slows up on eBay and Amazon, you just kill it, and then sometimes I don't know how it is because everybody tells me Amazon seems if you find the right item, everything will sell quick.
Honestly, we don't pay much attention to our Amazon account. It kind of just is a side pot right now for the account we sell used stuff on anyways.
The used stuff account, yeah.
We don't pay much attention to it. We just send stuff in and
look at it every now and then. Just
check our account balance every once in a while.
See if we have any issues or anything, which we've never had an issue yet. So I know a lot of people are scared of Amazon, but I'll tell you what, I have way more issues with eBay than I ever have with Amazon. I mean, they're strict from what I hear, but as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and you're not trying to deceive somebody or anything like that, I think you're fine. Just know the rules is all you got to do.
We've been doing Amazon since the beginning of the year, and I think we've had maybe 3 emails ever.
Three emails ever, yeah.
Didn't you get one a few days ago though? That was like one of your first emails.
Oh no. She on the used Amazon account, she doesn't get any emails saying your item sold, your item shipped, you're shipped. And she just called them and asked them, why do I never get emails from you? And I guess she had them blocked in her email.
Oh, that's right.
God. Thanks for making me look like an idiot.
Yeah. So, no, but as far as like actual questions from customers, we've had like 3 in 6 months or 7 months. Yeah, 7 months.
I have a good question from actually Janessa. She's been on a few times with us. She said, what's all the tax crap? Is that hard with Amazon with all the warehouse locations?
It's technically not hard. It's just a pain in the butt. You just got to get signed up with tax IDs for the Nexus states.
There's a lot of people that aren't doing it, and if you're a very small seller, you know, most of the small sellers aren't really doing it. And to be honest with you, we're not completely set up with all of them yet. But basically, you just get set up with all the different states that you need to if you want to be legal and legit, and use a program like TaxJar. It's a paid service, but they will go into your eBay and your Amazon and different businesses that you have, and they'll pull out everything you owe. And you can put all your tax ID numbers in there. You can click on Pay These Taxes. It makes it very, very simple. Once you're set up, I mean, I would say it's probably only going to take a few minutes of your time, you know, for each state. And that's, depending on the state, you might be quarterly or maybe every 6 months or maybe once a year, just depending on the state. But 12 states, you go in there and pay them. It maybe takes you 5 minutes on each state. I mean, it's not that big of a deal once you're set up. It's just something that you just got to be aware of, and it's something that you're going to have to do.
So basically, TaxJar will go into your eBay, everything your eBay, and if you have an Amazon account, and they'll figure it all out.
Yeah, it'll separate it by state. It'll tell you what you owe each state, everything.
At what point do you owe taxes?
My girlfriend Nikki wants to know, at what point would you owe taxes?
Like
how much do you have to make?
Well, we did.
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, it's hard to say because really it depends on if you rent, if you own, if you write off your vehicle. It really depends on your write-offs. We did.
Is she talking about collecting sales tax, or is she talking about reporting your income?
Reporting the income.
Oh, reporting the income.
This last year was the first year that we had to pay taxes, and we did $125,000 last year, and we owed taxes.
On eBay, yeah. That was gross sales on eBay, and that's not including what we did on Craigslist or anything like that. But the best answer for that question really is to just be all legal and say you should be reporting everything. I know not a lot of people do.
And if you can afford to save money aside just in case, do it.
If you are trying to be completely legal, I mean, if you have a yard sale, you're supposed to collect sales tax legally, and not everybody does, but legally you are supposed to. So they say if you make $100 on eBay, then you need to claim that income. But if you're not claiming it as income, it's better to claim it anyways, because all the write-offs you're going to get to write off, it is going to make your income look way less than what you actually made, because people with normal jobs, they get in their car, they drive to work. They don't get to write that off. They don't get to write off, 25 or 30% of their home because they have a home business. They don't get to write off their vehicle expenses, their repairs. All that stuff, our cell phones, write off, 100% write off on our cell phone bill, because we have to have our cell phones in order to run our business.
We use them when we're out to source. We use them to take our pictures. We use them to list. We use them for everything. It's mandatory.
So I don't care if you make $100 in a year on your business or $1,000 or $1 million. You really should be reporting those taxes, especially if you don't make that much, because you're going to be the one to benefit more than somebody that's making $200,000 a year.
Okay. And like, say, photography equipment you buy for basically you're saying you're using it for eBay and stuff like that. And how about if you was to because we're looking into getting a vehicle next year, because we just paid off our car, but we just put like $2 grand into it, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. We need a bigger car. We have a small little Jeep Liberty, and we want to get probably a minivan or a bigger size SUV so I can actually go out to places, not just where I live. And start, we also only have one car, so I always want to go out and source. Now, if I want to buy a car or lease a car, would I be able to write that off?
Go talk to a tax guy, honestly, because we haven't done that, so I don't want to give you tax advice that we don't know.
Right. You would be able to write. It would be a write-off, but I'm not going to tell you like how much of it, and can you write off the interest. And I don't know the answers to those questions. But yeah, if it has to do with business, once you have a tax guy, just say, hey, I'm going to get a new car.
How do I make it a write-off?
How do I make this a write-off? And then he'll tell you exactly what you need to do. but like our vehicle's paid for, so basically I just fix it, you know, when it breaks down. And I know when I do my taxes, I can write off all those repairs. And I was thinking about doing that too, possibly getting a car like on payments or something, because then I can hopefully write off the payments. But I haven't talked to my tax guy about it yet, though. So
if you do, let me. And if you find out your answer or whatever, just let me know, because that'll be awesome if you could do that. I mean, that'd be basically I'm driving around a car and you know, basically it is going to pay itself off by just using it with, you know, all the extra room I can get in it. And but I mean, it would help a lot if it was able to do it. But I also we have another really good question, and this is one I was actually going to ask you earlier. Someone asked, what the ranking in a Amazon item? What do you mean by a ranking?
The more your item sells, the lower your rank number is going to be. If you have a rank under like 50,000, you're doing pretty well on that rank. But it depends on the category too.
Right. Amazon has it's called like a bestsellers rank is what it means. And the way it's calculated, nobody really knows. But we have a really good idea. And especially if you're in a certain category and you see your rank is 700, and I look at my sales and I go, well, I sold 45 today, then I can make a pretty educated guess and say, well, if I'm sitting at a 700 rank, I'm selling anywhere between 45 and like 80 items a day. But each category has different rank things, basically. And what it is in a certain category, say it's like kitchen stuff or something, they're going to say, well, this guy has this item and it sells all the time. Well, he's number 3 on bestsellers rank. Well, that means he's selling one like every 15 seconds or something. I mean, 30 seconds or a minute. But if a guy has a million rank, then that means he's in that line. He's number 1 million to be on the bestsellers rank. So the more time that goes by, the higher you are in that, the longer you're further back in the line. Let me put it that way.
So it's basically the longer you have an item listed, the further you're like million rank, you know, whatever past that. And of course, I'm sure you guys would suggest some items aren't good if it's that far back.
Right. The higher the number, the longer it's been since it's sold. So when you're dealing with an item that has 100,000 rank, I mean, depending on the category, that item probably last sold, you know, maybe a week ago, maybe 4 days ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, depending on the category. But if you're right around 100,000 rank and you're sending an item into FBA, it's pretty good. It's a pretty safe bet. If you get up to 500,000, I would still get it if the profit is decent. And I know that, you know, some booksellers and stuff, I mean, they'll go into the millions. So it just really, you got to think, if it's in the millions, it's going to sit there a while. So you got to make sure that it's going to be worth it if it sells a year later.
All right. I have a question from Chronicles of Seth, and I don't know if you guys want to answer it. If you don't, feel free not to, because it has something to do with your private labeling. They want to know what the cost of your first order for your private label was. Are you having your supplier ship directly to Amazon? And was it difficult to communicate with a supplier from China?
No, that's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
Our first order cost us about $2,000, and it was a relatively small order. What was the next one?
The next one was, are you having your supplier ship directly to Amazon?
Our first order came to us so we could quality check it, but after the first one, it will go straight to Amazon from them.
Right. You can negotiate packaging, printing on your product, printing on the packaging, whatever you want. You can negotiate with the manufacturers. They're used to that. It wasn't hard to communicate with them because when you use Alibaba, they have a chat app. And if you want to start looking into sourcing certain products or maybe researching them, I highly suggest that you get that chat app, because you want to get on there when they're at work, which is in the evening time for us. And you want to be able to chat back and forth. Because if you send emails, because sometimes they'll say something that doesn't make sense, so you got to ask, and then that's a whole nother day of waiting for an email or maybe an hour. But if you're chatting back and forth, you can say, I'm looking for this. I need it this size. I need this to be like this. And then you can send pictures through that chat too. So when I was talking to our supplier, she was sending me pictures saying, "What about this? How does this look? You mean like this?" And I would say no, and I would send her pictures say like this. This is what I need. And then you can also discuss the quality specifics and all that stuff.
You're there, right? You're not frozen. Yeah. Okay, because you froze up just a sec at the end, but we get everything in. Now, I think we should also mention, I mean, because I know you guys real well because we do a resellers meet and greet weekly every Wednesday nights with Justin Starcher, Golden Finger Picker, Sean from Cool Toads. I mean, seriously, it's a bunch of us. Oh man, I'm forgetting a couple people, but please bear with me. It's on the spot. What have you guys learned from that group yet? Or what do you guys think about it? Because I know I've learned a lot of. I'll go into stores now and look for some of the items that you're actually talking about, and I know you guys are always open to ask you if we find anything for you. I saw on the panel, because you guys know us personally. If you have any questions, we always have no problem asking you guys. What do you guys think about the meet and greet?
I think the most important thing I've gotten out of it really is to have that circle of friends. Have people to fall back on if you need help. Have people that'll listen to you if you are stressed out about something, or if you just want to talk to somebody, or if you have questions.
Yeah, I think it's really you need to surround yourself with people who are like-minded and people that are doing the same kinds of things that you are, because they say that look around you and take your 5 friends that you got, and you have a really, really high probability of being in the exact same position as them. In other words, if you surround yourself with everybody that works at McDonald's, then you're probably going to have that kind of job. You're going to either they're going to try to rise to your level, or you're going to stoop down to their level. So being able to be around people, like she said, that are doing the same stuff, it keeps you motivated and it keeps you focused on doing what you're doing.
So yeah, I encourage everybody that's watching right now to watch the meet and greet. There is a lot of very, very valuable information given out in there, and while sometimes it just gets off topic,
and we're fun,
yeah, sometimes it just goes off topic and is about nothing that has to do with eBay or Amazon, but it's fun.
We try to answer all the questions, and we have learned a lot from like when we put our group up, having that community of people. We're not gods or gurus in there. We're just normal people. We didn't make it so that we could have little minions under us. We made it because we wanted an area that wasn't real strict. We weren't very impressed with some of the other groups, not all of them.
I do like minions though. Yeah, I would like to own one.
I would love to have a minion. But I wanted to really have a place to where everybody can just be themselves and we can all help each other. And I've learned from people what was Easy Bake Oven stuff. I used to always look up the whole Easy Bake Oven, and they would sell for like $15 and maybe some a little more, but I never wanted to mess with them. But then somebody was saying, oh, look at all this Easy Bake Oven stuff I sold for $40 or $35, and all it was pans. And I'm going, man, I never even thought of that. So I started looking for pans.
And shit, without the eBay groups, I would have never known about the Big Hug Mug, and we happen to find
We happen to
find ours at the peak, and we got $80 out of it, and it was nice.
Found it right after she found out about it too. It was kind of but it was nice because we were conversing back and forth with people, and like I said, not one person knows everything. So that's what you gotta. You gotta be humble, and you really have to listen to other people too, because they might know something you don't know.
I was watching that. Yeah, I figured. When we first started, we did it 3-4 weeks ago, and it was just on a limb. We're like, let's all start a hangout, and it was originally, I think the first night was on Thursday, but every week ever since it's been Wednesdays at 9 p.m. And it was just a thing. We're like, who was with us? And we're like, I think it was Elena, where we asked, we're like, oh, do you want to go live with us? She wasn't too sure, and we understood, but in the end, we all went live, and she kept joining in. And ever since then, it's been like a thing. It picked up from the first week, we had like 20 viewers, and I thought it was awesome. To the second week, we had 60, and then I think last week we ended up, even after messing up with the technical difficulties, we had 3 different videos we had to make, we still somehow were able to recover like 90 people we had throughout almost the whole show. We usually go on for hours and hours. I think I learned a lot from you guys. I learned a lot from everybody in the group in the on the panel and stuff. I also like last week. We had two guests on last week. I know Janessa was one of them, and there was another one in there. I forget his name, but I'm sure he'll be in there next Wednesday. And he's new, and I mean, some of the stories I hear from them is just, I feel like I was there. I've lived it. I've been there. Last year, I felt the same way. Like giving up, like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I felt like depressed and stuff like that. But hearing their stories and how they listen to us, it kind of makes me feel happy. And I'm like, wow, I feel like I've come a long way. And it's great because I know you guys have been doing this for so long, and I'm sure you've had people tell you how much you've changed their lives.
Yeah, that's really what's kept us making them. I mean, I start look at my messages and stuff, and people would just be telling me thank you so much, and they'd ask questions and stuff, but most people were just telling me thank you. I had one person told me that he was actually, before he started watching my videos, was like contemplating on committing suicide, and he was saying that he just was hoping maybe his life insurance could give his family a better life, and that he was struggling. But big long email, but he said that basically he went out with like $20 because that's all he could afford to spare, was $20, and he just went out and bought the same kinds of things that I was showing people to look for. And he said he turned that $20 into like 170 or 130. It was in the hundreds. And then he took that money and put it back, went out and went shopping some more. And he said he was up to like $700 in stuff he was selling, and he still hasn't had all of it sold yet. So to me, that was just really cool. And that's why we started doing the videos. It was just so people can, not feel like they're just can't control their lives, like they can't make it, like they can't, they're stuck working for $10 an hour or $12 an hour. There's just so much more out there for them.
I feel like you're really going to be passionate about this business and really serious if you want to make it work. Like we were talking about earlier, like you can't just be like, oh, I want to try this because it looks cool, I saw it on a TV show, so I want to try this out and see how it works. And that's how it doesn't work. Some people don't know you have to put like a lot of lead work in it. And I know that I've had people actually contact me from seeing my videos and tell me, you've done a lot to help the community. I'm like, man, I just put this stuff out like 3 months ago. I started being on here, and I'm already hearing some awesome stories. And I mean, of course, your stories, you change somebody's life. You just feel so much better and positive. And I try to keep myself away from the negativity. And I felt like ever since I joined this group with you guys, the Meet and Greet on Golden Fingers Pickers YouTube channel, it's like we're all positive. We don't want anybody negative in the group, because I feel like if somebody's already negative, you just can't fix it. You can't change it. That you can't change somebody's outlook. Because I've done that before selling cars. I mean, I get a negative attitude. I never want to do it again. I haven't done it again, thank God, just because it just wasn't paying right. But I feel like if you try hard at something, you'll be surprised what you'll find. I mean, what is your guys' like philosophy on doing all this?
On staying positive?
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah.
For us, the thing that makes it the easiest to stay positive is, it's a business, not a hobby, but we love our job, and I love my boss. So it makes it so much easier. Love what you do. No, I'm the boss. Yeah. But if you love what you do, it's not hard to stay positive.
Yeah, and I've always, with this business, I think I'm trying to work hard now so I don't have to work hard later. That's kind of how it works, which is a lot kind of how FBA works. You can work hard one day, send it all away, and get paid for it later, so you can relax later.
I think what a great quote is like, there's much effort you want to put into listing whatever. The more you buy, the more you list. But you should be listing a lot. You should be trying to list or sell the most you can each day. So you can, even though those items are going to sell down the road, I mean, you basically make up your own paycheck. You're your own boss. There's nobody telling you, you have to sell this and you have to list this many items. I mean, that's why I found you. I think our group is awesome because our friendship with everybody in the group, because we all are like with each other, like messaging each other every day, like, did you list? Did you do this? Did you put a video up? How's you know how much you making? Are you at where you're supposed to be at? It's kind of like we're all each other's bosses. Not just one person is like, not just yourself this time. It's like everybody. It's kind of like a friendly competition. Like Golden Finger Picker had the in Justin Starcher started the whole race to 250 items, and I believe you did. What did you do? You said you did 50 items in one night. I think the night after he decided to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the $25 challenge too. It's getting people out there, and then Chad Golden Finger Picker is also doing the mock him video contest, and that is fun. And I really hope that more people get out there. Go watch Golden Finger Picker and do his mock us contest. It's fun. It's exciting.
It makes it fun to be able to network with people.
Yeah, I think the best thing in this business, if you can network people and feed off their energy, you're going to go someplace. You're going to go far. Like when I did the interview last Monday with eBay Scavenger, I got a message the next day from my friend. I think it's James Willingham. He runs eBay Thrifters. He says, man, I never knew about Afghans. He's like, but I was in the same store as this lady. I picked up 2, and I saw she had 2 in front of her. We got to talk, and he's like, and she saw the video that I did that night before, and that's why she picked up Afghans. And to me, that's like, man, people actually listen to me.
Yeah.
You guys have any stories like that where you've actually either bumped into somebody or someone's mentioned to you by watching your videos, like that they started doing almost the same thing you guys have done?
Yeah, we've actually
acquired a new neighbor through our videos.
Yeah, we kind of did. Yeah, we acquired a new neighbor across the street because he bumped into us in a thrift store and started asking us some questions. Turned around and he was real nervous. Like he was just like, "Oh my gosh, I And at first I didn't know what he was talking about. I'm like, he was like, and he's just mumbling, and I'm like, okay. And finally he goes, man, Gill Daddy. And I'm like, okay. So you recognize me from my videos, So it was kind of neat. And we end up, he calls me when he needs help with stuff and things like that. And they were looking for a place to live, and he happened to stop by, seen the for rent sign out across the street, and called me up a few days later and said, hey, I think I might be renting that place across from you. And I was like, cool,
He was definitely the most dramatic call out we've had, but we had a few other people that walked up to us and just talked to us like they knew us, and then we were like,
how you been? And I'm going, good, how you been?
He thought I knew him, and I thought he knew him.
Yeah, I was like, I must have known this
as
person
soon as
from
they
somewhere
called
else.
us by our YouTube handles, we were like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool, They're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know you guys lived here. This is cool.
Now that he lives across from you, do you guys does he kind of feed off your energy? Like, does he try to list and try to go out with you as much as he can?
Well, he just moved in like 2 days ago, so he's still unpacking.
Yeah.
So he hasn't been able to get back to his eBay yet until he gets unpacked. But yeah, as soon as it gets all set up, he's gonna turn his whole garage, kind of like I do mine, into his eBay and Amazon work area. And now he's starting to talk about doing some private labeling, and I told him I'd give him a hand with that,
Man, I'd love to have a neighbor that did that, because everybody I talk to, all my friends are like, I'll start getting into a conversation about what I found or what I'm selling. And then, like I think I had my best friend on the phone. I've known him since I was 12 last week, and I'm like, he called to see if he was coming to my daughter's birthday party. I started this like a month ago. And I started talking to him like, yeah, man, I'm so doing really well. I got this, and this. After he told me about his pool business, and then as soon as I started talking about my eBay, he goes like this, oh, hold on a second. He gets on the other line. He comes back. He's like, oh, I got to go. He didn't even have anybody on the other line. He was just like, I was like, wow, man, really? And that was around the time, like, all of us started that hangout, and I'm like, dude, I don't even talk to my friends much anymore. I just talk to you guys if I, have somebody I feel like I can brag to or talk to, and I mean, how do you guys tell your either your family or your friends about it?
We attempt to, but anybody that doesn't do what we do. Are you good now?
Yeah, I can hear you good now.
We've attempted to talk to our friends about it, teach our friends about it, do all that, and anybody to do it doesn't want to hear about it. And if they're talking about work, there's generally stressful stuff. So as soon as we start talking about work, they're like, "Oh, we don't want to talk about work."
Well, they don't say that. They just usually, "Oh, okay, yeah, oh, okay."
Oh, you know that other thing?
I'll see you later. And, they just kind of, they're not into it. It takes a special kind of person to do this. Some people need a boss. Some people need to go out and have a 40-hour-a-week job and do that. They need somebody telling them that they have to go to work. I don't know. Some people just don't want to do this. They don't care how much money. I could next year be making $1 million a year, and my friends probably will still be like, "Oh, yeah." I don't think it matters. I think that they just are stuck in their ways. That's all.
Yeah, I think it's funny because, like, I look at it as like, I put just as much time and effort that you guys do, and actually something I actually like to do. It's like one of my dream jobs. Who would want to go out and go thrifting or whatever, buy stuff and sell it for ridiculous profits? You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy how some people just think it's like, oh, you're going to buy garbage at Goodwill and sell garbage. How does that work? And they're like, how much do you make? Is it even worth it? And I'm like, when I tell them, they're like, oh, really? Okay. Some people are like that, and some people are just like, they don't even care. You can't even tell them anything, because I feel like sometimes the stuff they talk about has to be so much more important than the stuff I talk about. And most of the time I just sit back. I won't even mention it. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, family, I think is super critical. They're always the ones, because they're not scared to tell you. They're just like, for the longest time, my dad's like, why are you being lazy? Why don't you go out and just get a real job? You're smart. You got a degree. You're doing this. You're doing that. You can do this. You can do that. You can get a nice job. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I make more money doing this. Well, yeah, but you can do this on the side. You can go to work every day and then just do this on the side, and you'll make so much more money. I'm like, no, because I'm doing this full time, making so much more money.
Yeah. I mean, so, what type of education you have to do to, like you said, last year you made 125 grand. You got to have some sort of higher education if you're going to go out in the workforce and look for that. And it's so hard to even find a job now still, And it's like some people they'll take the $10 an hour job, they'll take the $8 an hour job because, it's all they know. They're afraid to make a jump or the effort or the time into this. And it's like, man, if you did a couple hours a week just to start and you did your job, you would eventually make it into a full-time job. I mean, that's happened to one of my friends who was a teacher, Brianna. That's how she started. She was a full-time teacher, and then she just started little by little doing the eBay, and then I think it was a couple of years, she was just making more money than doing her teaching job. So it was like, what am I doing being a teacher, And some people just don't even have educations. It doesn't matter if you do or don't, and they jump into it, and they're successful. I don't know if it's because you have to be a people person or something, or just know what you're doing, but...
No, you definitely don't have to be a people person. Up until, like, recently, I am not a camera person. I consider that kind of like a people person. He had to constantly be like, say this. It's okay. Do this.
Yeah. I think for people that really are wanting, to do this full time, and they're scared. They're scared because they think a job is safe, but a job is not safe. I know people that they've closed the doors, booted them out to the curb, and guess what? They go find another job. It's not safe. But this is like anything. There's really nothing to be scared about. You can get into this even if you want to do it full time. I suggest you get everything ready, not just quit your job. But you could, even if you did this and it didn't work out, it'd be just like losing your job. You just go back to the job. If you can't handle this, you'll find out real quick, and you'll go out and get a job. But if you're new and you're thinking about doing it full time, start doing it. Put 4 hours a week or 5 hours a week into it. Go out, maybe stop at a thrift store or two on your way home from work, and actually look at your clock and see how much time you're picking, and then list the stuff and take the pictures and see how much time you're listing and taking pictures, which you will be slow at first. You will get faster. But see how much money you can make with 4 or 5 hours of work, picking and listing. And then look at that and go, well, let's see. If I put 20 hours into it, how much would I be making? You know, and just do the math. If you can just crunch the numbers, you'll know if you can make it or not.
Yeah, I always say, you know, you put the time, effort, and your energy, you'll get your return. You'll get what you want out of something. But I had a question. I don't know if you guys know this too well, but I've actually had asked this question to Catherine from Treasure Hunt before. Someone in the group, Yaya HYFR, asked, other groups are talking about the fourth quarter a lot. Do you guys change up the way you do your business, or just basically keep selling the same stuff, i.e. selling lots of toys?
No, we do. We just do everything the same still, and our fourth quarter is always better than any other quarter too. Up until, I mean, but we sell a lot of used stuff, so we do really good up through November. As soon as we hit December, it usually slows down a little bit, but then right after Christmas, we pick right back up.
Right. Yeah, December always goes a little slower, but we don't really change anything up. I mean, we do change what we get more of and things like that for different times of the year, just like everybody should. Just, you know, I'm not going to try to sell jackets right now. You know, it's that same thing. You know, I'm not going to try to sell
ski racks
right now. I have a whole bunch of them that I need to sell, but I'm not going to sell them right now. I'm going to wait till winter. So I mean, just normal things like that, yeah. But as far as like toys and all that, we're selling used stuff, you know, so I don't really got to worry about that. Now, as far as the Amazon, like the new stuff on Amazon goes, I don't know yet because this is our first year with those new products.
Yeah, and it'll be, I think after the first year you figure out the products, you'll definitely have some sort of timeline of, you know, what is selling, when it's selling. You know, you'll have a whole year to go and look back on and how much you're making from that product, so you can jump into it. I think it was like you're saying, I think it was the first night we were on together, how it's kind of like an experiment to see how it goes, and then if it goes good, from there, try different ones and branch out and see what you can do, which is always a great strategy. If you can always have that time to look back, and then you have like a full year to figure out what you're doing now and what you should be doing. And we have like 76 people watching still. That's crazy. But I'm going to get ready to wrap this up.
I am so awesome. Somebody should send me a crown. I'm so awesome.
Yeah, I think your head is getting bigger.
So I just now realized I have my shirt on backwards.
Nice.
Just saying.
I would say this stays between us, but one time when me and my girlfriend first got together like 9 years ago, I played some soccer for like a recreational league, and the first time I wore a new pair of soccer shorts I gotten, like a brand new pair. I didn't know which size were which, and I was in a rush because I just grabbed them. I was at the place. I was trying to take them on. I actually had my shorts on backwards, and we're just practicing. My girlfriend's like, "Hey, Kevin, come here." I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Dude, your shorts on backwards," and I'm like it was like one of those things where I just wanted to curl up in a ball and just run away, but nobody else noticed, thank God, because it was so embarrassing in front of a whole bunch of, like, I think it was like 26 people on the field. So it was like, yeah, it could have ended badly for me.
I just went and turned my shirt around, so I'm all good.
All right, but if you guys are enjoying this video, I'm thinking about doing, I guess I'll do I want to do a weekly one-on-one, you know, kind of like get to know the pickers that I get involved with, or I've been involved with, or, you know, if anybody, you guys have any suggestions who you want me to do. I know next week I'll be having Chad and his wife Kim from Golden Finger Picker and Golden Finger Picker Queen on next weekend, Monday at 9 p.m. I mean, I really enjoy it. I do. I mean, what do you guys think of it?
Golden Finger Picker and Florida Picking Queen.
I'm sorry. Again, my tongues go over my mouth before I even speak. My brain's like...
You just suck, Kevin.
I do. I really do. Thanks. But what do you guys think about the whole one-on-ones? I think I get to learn more with the people that are on, and then like I be able to have a better relationship afterwards. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. And then I mean, now our viewers and whoever else is watching is going to know more about us too.
Yeah.
Mention that again. Who you guys are and where they can find you.
I'm Gill Mama. My name is Sarah. This is Gill Daddy.
Gill Daddy or Dave, but
and we have a website that's Gillmoney.com, and we have a Facebook group that's Gillmoney. We also have a Facebook page that's Gill Daddy, Gill Mama, Gillmoney, but we aren't on there all that often, so we suggest going to the group instead.
Yeah, and if you have any questions for us or anything, join the group, and we're pretty active on there. So she's on there all day, and I'm on there at least a few times a day.
I am a Facebook whore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on there today asking you about stuff because I was like, I ended up finding out today someone messaged me on my regular, my page saying, hey, do you want to? I see you're a YouTube star now, which I don't think I am. I'm just friends with a lot of YouTubers. She's like, do you want to be a eBay radio star? And I'm like, and I go, let me guess, are you with like you guys do eBay radio with Griff and I think her name's Lee? And she's like, yeah, she's the executive producer, and she's like, we'd like to have you come on and kind of do like a weekly spot or something, or come on often. And I'm like, and that's when I told you, I'm like, dude, I'm just so nervous because it's gonna be tomorrow. My spot's gonna be at 4 o'clock on eBay Radio. I'll send the link to everybody. But I mean, you know how I get when I first get going. I tend to be like where I just was tongue-tied. But when I get going, I end up being good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've called eBay Radio one time and asked them a question, and
somebody called us out on it too. They're like, was that you?
Yeah, somebody recognized my voice or something, and they were just like, was that you on eBay Radio the other day? And I'm like, yeah. I guess they just recognized my voice or something. I don't know. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I used to listen to them all the time when I would pick up my daughter. Well, now she's in summer. But before, when she was in school, I was going back and forth. I'd pop on an episode, listen to it, and then when I had to go pick her up, because her school's about a half hour from us. So I'd come back, I'd put it on and stuff like that. So I was really surprised, and it was kind of like really honored that they actually came out and reached out to me. Normally, I thought I've heard people like have to reach out to them. I didn't even know how to get involved with them, but I thought that was cool. So anyways, yeah, I'm gonna. I think we're just about done here, huh?
Yeah, I think we're good.
We covered a lot of things. We didn't really cover like a lot of because there are a lot of us out there that do the YouTube channels and thrifted and stuff like that, or estate sales and do what we do on eBay. But we do get a lot of what is it? I would say haters out there or trolls.
Yeah.
What's your worst episode with a troll?
Oh, there was a lady that threw an absolute fit because he wore earrings. He said shit. And he said shit in front of me. That was the problem. He cussed in front of a lady.
Right.
And because we drink.
Oh, yeah, because in one video I was drinking, vodka water, and she just was going off, and I don't know, Jesus hates you, or I don't know, something weird. But it was we were pretty new doing YouTube videos, so I think I sent her, a message on there just saying, you know what, I don't judge you for the way you are. I don't make these videos so you can complain about my earrings. I'm not doing an earring show here. Or, I'm just showing you guys, how to go out thrift stores and make some money. Ignore the rest of it, But yeah, we don't really pay attention to them anymore. I just know that now. It's real easy to take things personally and read all your comments. I know. I laugh at them now. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this moron,
Because the majority of the time anymore, people say stupid crap. Like our last video, somebody said that I look like a boy.
Yeah, he's like, oh my gosh, his wife looks like a dude.
Yeah, I look like a dude. And somebody got on right afterwards, was like douche or bastard or something stupid like that. I was like, people that like
we
me.
just laugh at them now, And actually, I think I might want to do like a video where we could like react to all the haters' comments.
We'd love to see other YouTubers do it too. Get all your mean comments.
I think we talked about that. I think a couple days ago how we should just individually make a YouTube video about just people hating on us. Like if you want to hate on us, we're just gonna make a video where you can just say all the hate to us.
Yeah.
And then we'll wait for the reaction, and then we'll make a remake of another video where we get the reaction and just we'll tell you how it is. I mean, because I know I've heard it's mostly happens with the girls, because I've seen some like Katie Patton and them people like go hardcore at the girls. I don't know why. I don't know if they're jealous or something, but they go really hardcore at the women.
They just look better than them.
Yeah, they're just immature. You know, just like you're a little boy, you go and chase the girl and do mean things to her to get her attention.
Yeah, I had one where she didn't like how I was drinking out of a cup, and she didn't like that we talked over each other. But it was our very first video we've ever done on our YouTube channel, so we didn't know how. It was, you know, like the longer you do this, the more you tend to figure out you got to give each other a little bit of time to answer a question. We're just talking over each other and having a ball. But I mean, it doesn't bother me. Sometimes I even look at the comments, and if it does, I know I have a weird face and I have a bad voice, but that's just me, you know. I want to have fun. I want to stay positive.
You are pretty funny looking.
We just pay attention to the people that do get stuff out of the videos, and people that we are helping, and the people that we network with and get ideas from, and you just focus on the positive. That's all. You just ignore the people who are putting negative stuff, because if they're going that far to leave a message on your channel saying something negative, it basically means you're doing something right. You know, you're doing something right if you're getting haters.
Yeah. Now, I think we're ready to wrap this up. Thank you guys seriously for being on. I knew I could count on you guys. Actually, everybody I've asked has said yes to me. eBay. I was surprised eBay Scavengers came on, because they've never done a video or a hangout like that. So this is definitely huge for me, because I talk to you guys all the time, and I think one night, what was it, the first night we went on a hangout, we talked for like 4 or 5 hours, and I had some stuff going on with the mannequin. I understand that. But no, we had a blast. We talked about a lot of things, man. Like, really, you guys really showed me the ropes. You, Golden Finger Picker, Ronnie Hart, Cool Toads, who you can watch on Friday nights, I believe 9 o'clock. He has his own channel, and I just promoted him to admin in my Thrifting Lounge, because I see how he's always into everybody's groups. He's a great person, and it's just our group. I'm sure. I mean, you're at almost 1,400 members. I just hit 1,300 members, and it gets too much. Like, I'll have people message me, dude, you got spam. You have spam everywhere. I'm like, oh, dude, it's just like, I don't have time for all this. I mean, I try to do as much as I can in the groups, but, I mean, he's a great guy, and I'm glad I definitely promoted him, and he's on the team now. And I'm just glad to know you guys. Like, it's huge for me to be on with you guys, because I've watched your videos. Like I told you how I found you. And to be here and just, bullshit with you guys is just freaking awesome.
What, you don't? I think you would look pretty good in some Ray-Bans.
Oh my God! I went to an estate sale the other day, Friday morning, and my friend Linda was there. I bumped into her in the in the master bedroom. She was in the closet. I was waiting for her to come out of the closet. I grabbed these 3 prescription glasses. Didn't bother looking at the sides of the lens and see who they were made of. I was too nervous. I was trying. I'm like, dude, get the hell out. Before I even knew who it was, get the hell out of the closet, man. I want to get in there. I want to change through. I want to grab the stuff. Because that's just how I get sometimes when I'm on a limited time. And so they came out. I started talking to her. Then her husband looked at the glasses after I put them down and stuff. He's like, man, they mispriced the stuff. These are 3 prescription vintage Ray-Bans. And I'm like, I even asked them, I go, are you going to buy those? They're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, man. I had them in my hands, and I passed. I let them go. But, no, it was all fun. It was a lot of fun, man, I tell you. But thanks for coming on again. Who's that, your cat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you guys had a cat.
We have a dog, too, over here on the couch. Our dog doesn't bark and freak and kill you like your animals do.
Yeah, if you guys didn't see this, thank God. It actually would probably have been funny, man. I had to grab my cat like 2 minutes before we went on, because my dog, it does not do good with any cats or animals, and she tends to run at the cats and try to freak them out. And I grabbed the cat, and my cat, who's really nice, she was scratching me, clawing me, literally running all over me, and I'm over here behind the couch in front of the camera, and you guys saw everything. The dog's trying to bite the cat. The cat's over behind my back. My arm over here is all scratched up. I'm bleeding. And I'm like, oh, my God. I'm yelling to my girlfriend. I'm like, Nikki, dude, get this dog. Get this dog out of here. I have the cat. I was getting killed, man. You saw me.
It was pretty hilarious.
I knew you would think it was hilarious. Anything that happens to me is hilarious.
Especially if it damages you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've noticed that. And I got a whole mess of freaking build blocks to clean up now. Dogs chewed them up. But thank you guys for coming on again. I'm sure we'll do this again. And if you guys like these videos, please like. And if you don't like these videos, well, it's going to keep happening. So you can dislike it if you want, but at least you're watching the video. Thank you guys a lot for coming on.
Bye, guys.
Later.
Stay on here too after I stop the broadcast.